meteorologist Mark Mullner as your host for Weather Northeastern. Let's get into some viewer sent in photos. This is a special winter weather edition. Even on the first day of spring, we will be dealing with a winter storm across the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. But Derek Rentschler has some photos of some snow geese to send in here from March 17th, 2015 here. He said the snow geese are about 3 weeks late this year. 3 weeks later than normally expected because of all the cold, snow, and ice across much of the area. As you can see, look at all of these snow geese across the area that Derek was able to snapshot here. So very, very nice photos indeed here, Derek, as we head into what has been a very abnormal winter for the Northeast. And this just proves the point, 3 weeks late for these snow geese, because we have not been able to get a decent thaw until of recently. And even then, many of the waterways are still covered with ice, or even the rivers, lots of ice across the region. So thank you, Derek, for sharing the photos of the snow geese. Better late than never, 3 weeks late. So let's get right into precipitation amounts across the country. Pacific Northwest turning a little bit stormy here on the order of 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches of rain. But it's continuing along the Gulf Coast here, Texas, Dallas, Linden, Shreveport, over to Birmingham, Atlanta. These areas could pick up a good 2 to as much as 4 inches of rain the next 4 to 5 days. And you see that stripe of precipitation moving up the coast. That's an association with the mid-Atlantic and Northeast system that will be affecting the area on the first day of spring on Friday, with what could be some significant, moderate to significant snow for many. Let's get right into that scenario setting up along the East Coast here. We got that trough digging, that low pressure riding up just off the coast here. But during the day Friday, it will traverse across the southern mid-Atlantic and eventually exit out to sea, but not before spinning lots of moisture inland across portions of the mid-Atlantic, Pennsylvania really under the gun here, northern Maryland, portions of New Jersey, especially northern and western New Jersey, and then portions of southern New England as well, lower Hudson Valley, Poconos, southern Catskills here, all the way back through the Susquehanna River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania, all the way towards portions of the Alleghenies. And that's where we'll be looking at for the most significant snowfall accumulations. Let's take a look at the snowfall map across the Northeast here. Take a look at this. Southern New England, as I said, will get out about 2 to 4 inches. This New York City, probably about 2 to 4. Then we head just to the west here, portions of the Poconos and the Catskills here. Southern Catskills, upwards of 5 to 6. But it's just east of Scranton in the Poconos here, where we could get upwards of 6 to 8 inches of snow. Lower Susquehanna River Valley and the mid-Susquehanna River Valley picking up a good solid 4 to 6 inches of snow out of this. Harrisburg, a good 4 to 6. We get over towards portions of the Appalachians here, and the Allegheny Mountains, southern Alleghenies, will be picking upwards of 4 to 6, maybe as much as 6 to 8 inches of snow, just over towards portions south of Clearfield County here, south of Interstate 80. So this system, for the first day of spring, rather potent, and a lot of heavy wet snow is likely. So that being said, let's get right into those surface maps for your Friday, first day of spring. Not looking very spring-like, although in the backside of the system we got some plain rain in portions of southern Ohio. But look at all the heavy snow, as I said, across central, eastern, northern, southern Pennsylvania here. New Jersey, portions of lower Hudson River Valley, over towards southeastern New England, Long Island as well, spreading towards the afternoon hours of Friday into southern New England, Cape Cod, portions of Rhode Island. But that being said, look at the temperatures. Where the precipitation is heaviest, that's where it'll hold the temperatures down into the lower 30s, enough to get that snowfall accumulating onto many of the surfaces. So be very careful travel-wise. Even the first day of spring, sun angle getting higher, so it'll be harder to accumulate, but nevertheless we will have significant, moderate to significant accumulations here across portions of the Northeast. Lighter further north, just north of the New York-Pennsylvania border, Binghamton picking up about 2 to 3 inches, and then you get towards the New York State Thruway, traced almost nothing. So we get right into your Saturday here. Look at this. A lot of this turns over to a mixture of rain and snow, anywhere in the orange, We're looking at a mixture of rain and snow as that system pretty much departs off the northeast coast, taking much of the moisture with it. Still some wraparound here in northern New England with some moderate snows likely in Nova Scotia. But then we head back towards the Susquehanna River Valley. We start to get into the 40s. This is only one day though it will stay warm because look at Sunday, the bottom drops out. Look at all this cold air that was funneling in from the west here, dropping down into the lower to mid-20s for highs in portions of upstate New York, southern Ontario getting down into the teens, and even towards New England here, cooling down significantly. It's going to be a blustery and cold day, and don't be surprised if we pick up maybe some lake effect streamers trying to kick in as well, although high pressure will start to put a stop to that later in the day. Nevertheless, Monday, still clear and rather cold across much of the Northeast here. As I was saying, it's just really hard pressed to get out of the 30s and even some 20s in many locations. That's going to do it for this edition of Weather Northeastern. I'm going to have a 5-day outlook for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Scranton, Elmira, Upper Susquehanna region of upstate New York, Northeast Pennsylvania. Don't forget to like me on Facebook at MeteoMark, subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com. It's Twitter at WX Northeastern and Google Plus at MeteoMark. Here's that 5-day stretching from your Friday, first day of spring. Not feeling very spring-like, probably 2 to 3 inches across the Twin Tiers. Further more as you head further south towards Scranton, upwards of 4 to 6 inches just over the border, Susquehanna County, upwards of 5 inches likely. Then we head towards Saturday here, getting into a mixture of rain and snow, heading up towards about 42. But look at this, Sunday, heading right back to winter, even though it's officially spring. Temperatures only into the mid-20s. Heading on into Monday and Tuesday as well, we start to get a little bit of a warming trend, but it's a very slow one at that. That's going to do it for this edition of Weather Northeastern.